The one big advantage come out of this lockdown is the fact that so many people have now connected with nature. I hear lots of people saying, wow, I'm hearing bird song for the first time, or what's that bird song? Can you identify it? I'm seeing lots of bees, big fat queen bees out and about, bee flies and flowers and butterflies. So a lot of people have taken solace in nature, in the wildlife that's all around them, whether it's, outside a block of flats, in the local park, in the garden, in a pond, whatever it is. And it's been a real help as well. You've only got to look on social media to find out how much it's helped so many people. And if you're in lockdown and you've got mental health issues, it's a really difficult time for you. So I think getting interested in wildlife, just looking and listening, is a big thing for lots of people now. Well, we've been lucky in a way, unlucky because of the lockdown, of course, and the awful virus, but we've been lucky in a way that the weather on the whole has been superb. And this sun has brought out so much wildlife. We don't have a big garden, but it's big enough. The lawn is full of dandelions, and they're brilliant for all kinds of bees. I've really got into my bees during this lockdown, things like ashy mining bees, red mason bees, as well as the usual bumblebees, the red-tailed bumblebee, tree bumblebee, buff-tailed bumblebee, really nice variety of them. So I would urge people like that to really get into, learn your basic spring flowers, learn your basic bees. There are so many of them, and so many of them I haven't got a clue, but some of the common ones now, most of those I now know. I've learned a lot of them. And probably the best thing, there's been a lot of them around this past 3 weeks or so, is a thing called the bee fly. It looks like a bee, but it's actually a fly, and it sort of hovers around everywhere and has a long proboscis that it puts into flowers like primroses and ground ivy. So keep an eye open for those, and that's probably the best thing I've seen. The obvious signs of spring I would urge people to look out for are things that everybody keeps an eye open for. Swallows, if you're lucky, you might hear cuckoos where you live. I don't get them here anymore. We used to, but we don't now. But the thing that's struck me this year is a lot of the councils are not cutting the roadside verges, and we've a little lane that goes past the house here, and it's absolutely stunning, and has been for the past month now. Initially it was things like primroses coming out and lesser celandine, and now they've given away to things like greater stitchwort, cow parsley, ground ivy, bugle, all kinds of things really. And, so I would urge people to just have a look at roadside verges, because the wealth of spring flowers there is amazing. And if someone's listening from the local council, please leave them alone. Don't feel you have to cut them and keep them so-called tidy. You don't. They're far better left alone, and you'll also save money. Yeah, this is critical. It's a difficult time for an awful lot of people now. A lot of us are just not getting paid at all, and won't be for weeks yet. So money is tight, and it's particularly bad for a lot of the conservation organisations, a lot of the local wildlife trusts, the RSPB, the Mammal Society, BTO. All of these organisations are going to be having a really difficult time. I would urge people, please, make sure that you stay as a member. If you're not a member, please join. Some of them you can buy stuff online. I've been buying my bird food online from RSPB. I've been buying a couple of books as well, a moth book, a bee book. So just try and support them as much as you can, because it's a really difficult time for them. And it would be absolutely disastrous, not just for our wildlife, but for us as well, if some of these organizations just couldn't survive and just collapse. So they are depending on people's goodwill right now. My message for the people at home is a simple one. Stay strong, and stay safe. And I know everybody says, help the NHS, stay indoors, stay safe. And it is true, but also stay strong, especially up here. It can be really difficult. We're into what we've done 4 weeks of lockdown now. We're going to have at least another 2 weeks, maybe more to go. But try and make the most of the outside world. Try and make the most of the wildlife that is around you. And even if you're not really into it, it will help, because you'll be seeing different things every day. There's nothing worse than being indoors, seeing the same old thing. I've got to say, telly at the moment is dreadful. So just get outside.